And we're back.
And we're back.
Okay. Hey, we're doing this.
Yep. And we're back.
And we're back. This might get spicy, folks.
No, it won't get that spicy.
We got a lot of that shit out of the way. We always decompress before we come out of these. Because we found out what about ourselves?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy, man. Like, I watch a lot of other like motorcycle, biker, whatever you want to say, content. And everybody's buzzing about this movie that's coming out in December.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Biker or something like that? Or
The Bikers.
The Bikers, yeah. It's basically an origin story on the Outlaws in Chicago back in 1965. Some of the names have been changed, and
Like the club name.
yeah, like the club name and other names, but it looks pretty good. Tom Hardy's good. Good
I like
actor.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
He's the real deal, man.
Oh yeah.
Like he plays characters that he could be in real life.
No,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. But
Well,
I mean,
he's a tough motherfucker.
he is tough. But I saw the trailer and I'm like, man, it seems like they did some research. So I have good hopes for it.
I do too.
Hopefully it won't be too Hollywoodized, like too Sons of Anarchy-ish. It's somewhat realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they got to make it entertaining, and I know they got to do their thing, but
I just don't want them to have shown us the best parts of it in the fucking
well, that too.
in the pre
That
what
too.
do they call that?
Right.
The trailer.
Yeah.
That happens too often.
But I also don't want them to make it look like you can have full-on fucking automatic gunfights in the middle of downtown Chicago and have not every state fucking federal agency up your ass.
Yeah, right. Especially in Chicago,
Yeah.
where they all live.
But so since we've last talked, we've had our annual party.
We did actually, yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good turnout.
It was a huge success, I thought.
Yeah.
We had great weather.
It was good weather. It was like that overcast, but it was like still semi-warm,
Yeah.
like in the 70s. And
Yeah, we had good food, we had fun, we did biker games.
now I want to talk about the biker games. I'm surprised how many bikers don't want to do biker games anymore. You got a parking lot full of bikes, and there's like 10 contestants that want to push a barrel.
Except for Loudest Pipes.
Yeah, loudest pipes. Everybody wanted to do that. Everybody thought their bike was super loud.
We have one guy, his bike wouldn't even register on the decibel meter. That was kind of funny.
Well, yeah, it turns out the Screaming Eagle pipes weren't as loud as he thought they were.
No. I actually wanted to enter that one, but I was working.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
But
I probably could have placed at least. My pipes are low. So are yours, but
in the what t-shirt contest,
well.
there was more dudes than chicks.
Oh.
That's weird.
No, well, what happened was we at the end of the day, we only had one chick that was going to enter the contest, and we were like, well, we're not just going to give you $100 because you enter the contest. At least you're going to have to show us your tits,
Right.
right? I mean, that seems like fair, right?
Well, and it seemed like we needed general competition. And if you're fans of the channel, you might have noticed that we have interviewed a club brother named Miho, and he is a plus-size gentleman. Well, it just so happens that he has man boobs, and he decided, well, I can enter because I think my boobs are bigger than hers. I'm like, well, I guess it's 2023. We can't stop you. I mean, I guess that's what we're doing these days. It got weird.
It did get weird,
It was weird.
but thankfully it was the end of the night.
It was the end of the night, so everybody was in the right headspace to see that.
No, it was good. It was a good time.
No, it was a
overall.
good time. It was a good time.
Out there at the table, if you happen to be in Afton, Massachusetts, there is an Afton, Massachusetts, Afton, Wisconsin area, Janesville here. The table, it's owned by a retired club member. It's a great venue, really cool.
Yeah. And it's, well, shit, Doc, club brother that owns it, he almost won the barrel contest on foot, which that was kind of cool.
I'm surprised he didn't fall on his face.
Well, he only can use one leg, so the fact that he almost beat a bike in a barrel race was impressive.
That late in the afternoon too.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well,
we'd interview Doc, but we're not going to do this at 9 o'clock in the morning when we could still
talk to him.
talk to him. Yeah, he owns a bar.
So
Yeah,
our brother Doc, he drinks 2 beverages, coffee and Busch Light.
yes,
And at noon, like clockwork, he switches over.
yes.
So I asked him, I said, Doc, you ever drink water? He says, no, I don't see the point.
Well, it's
Doesn't
in the
have
beer.
caffeine or alcohol. What?
It's in the beer and the coffee.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a liquid. It must be made of somewhat water. Anyways.
Must be working for him.
Well, yeah. What? Fuck, he's almost 70.
Yeah,
Damn
almost.
close.
Yeah, damn it. No, he's 9 years older than me, so he's going to be 70 in coming up here.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, he's also hung like a horse.
Allegedly.
Oh no, not allegedly, bro.
Oh no, brothers.
When we were
sounds bad, but
no, because we were probates,
mm-hmm.
and we were on a ride, so we're all get off the ride, got to go to the bathroom. So there's several brothers in the bathroom, and Doc, knowing that there's several brothers, including myself, in the men's room, and so he whips it out and comes walking in to the men's room, and he's like, "Hey boys, you got room for this?" And it's like, like a baby's arm, coming out. So just
good
saying.
times in Afton.
Yeah,
is the moral of that story.
Yeah, that's a cool place.
It is.
It is a cool place.
It
does jam sessions at 2:00 on Sundays. It gets a bunch of musicians out there and they rock, and fuck, everybody knows. I mean, they call it the table. And there's actually a little story behind that. The reason they call it the table is because when they had their house before they owned the bar, they had the kitchen table. They're kitchen table people. They're not dining room table people. And the rumor was, well, not a rumor. And actually, the fact was that you'd show up to their house and you'd sit at the table and drink, and then you'd bless that they had places for you to sleep, because 9 times out of 10 you wouldn't leave there because you were hammered out of your mind.
Right. It was a place to hang out and have a good time, air grievances, whatever.
Oh yeah. But either way, we had a good time at the old school / end of year party that we had. It was cool. I thought it went well.
End of the
overall.
season, we should say.
End of the season. Hey, have you noticed? Like, we're having an election next year.
Yes.
And apparently, nobody's running because there's really no normally we've got campaign shit up.
Here's the thing. It's like, the Democrats are sticking with Joe Biden, who is clearly suffering from dementia.
Clearly.
If
anybody saw what just happened in Japan, yeah.
And it is what it is, man. People get old. Like, why is it that half our politicians are in their fucking 70s and 80s? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, no shit.
But on the Republican side, Donald Trump is winning by a landslide, according to polls.
And the Republican Party doesn't even consider him to be in the race.
Because he may or may not be getting sent to prison over things that he may or may not have did.
But a lot of our people do remind us that you, as a joke,
a
few years ago, we were going to run me for president.
Mm-hmm.
Tank 2024. We had posters made up, the whole deal.
I know, we were going to do that. It was a joke because we were like, oh, let's make a fucking mockery out of the government because it's dumb.
Yeah, you could do worse. That was you could do worse.
It's almost like you're almost a viable candidate at this point.
Are we tired? Were we tired of being right? How many of these have we done? Like, I mean, we've done so many tongue-in-cheek shit, but it all comes true.
It does. I feel like Alex Jones. I really do. Like, he said the frogs are gay, and now you got fucking RFK fucking talking about how, like, Roundup made the frogs gay, and it's like, well, shit. Well, you're right. Back in the day when we were like, the apocalypse is coming, here's what you want to do. You want to get a samurai sword, an AK, and an AR, and
look at it this way. Alex Jones does
Yeah.
not provide conspiracy theories. He just gives you a 6-month lead time on the news.
Oh.
So 6 months, he's talking about it because it's conspiracy. 6 months later, turns out it's true.
And this is our last episode on YouTube, by the way.
Yeah,
because we just
probably.
got
We just
flagged
talked about
for
Alex
every goddamn
Jones,
thing.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Probably. Hopefully we're 10 minutes into it and they stop with the algorithm. I don't know.
I-
I don't care, man.
No, I don't give a shit.
I know, I don't either.
We're not even monetized.
No, we talked about that. And then we decided that was just too much work.
Mm-hmm. That's dumb. Yeah.
Well,
what
I mean, we
else?
want to be real. How are we going to be fucking say we're real and real bikers, real bikers, and then be monetized and then do this, for money? Like, it doesn't make sense because then we can get accused of all sorts of different things.
We don't even have a cough button.
No, I could probably take that out.
Okay.
It's a lot of work, but
Don't worry about it. Otherwise, you have to take all this out because we're talking about it.
no, we'll just end the show. Sure, we won't air it. We've got a whole list of episodes we've never
There's
aired.
two,
Three,
there's three.
and then a
three.
lost one because we never recorded it.
Yeah, whoops. But yeah,
There's some guys that are still doing some quality stuff out there.
like who?
All right, there's some guys that are still in the game that are doing some stuff out there. Hey,
For
heck,
example.
so's the Ghost.
Yeah. I saw a video. He was like, the Sturgis Budweiser tent was empty.
Oh, that was such propaganda. It wasn't even.
Yeah,
funny.
I don't know if he
You
was
were there.
I was there.
Yeah.
And it was not, it was normal. Everything seemed to be normal.
It was probably empty when they first set it up and nobody was there.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But hey, good for him. He's making content.
Apparently he's got, a lot of
How's his
viewers.
He-Man action figure set going?
Does he really?
Yeah, he's
have-
got the Skeletor and stuff, and he's got,
Seriously?
yeah, he's got toys.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Hey, shout out to our friend Meg. Apparently, when you're like, blonde bombshell with a fucking rock ass hard body, people like to watch you.
That's weird.
I never knew that would happen.
Fuck, we should do that. Comment below if you want Tank to start working out and showing you his mad karate skills.
My man, yeah, like I'd be like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
You can get a TikTok account and do dances.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
That's
Yeah.
what the kids are doing.
I got people trying to talk me into doing a TikTok account and making fishing rods. I'm like, I'd be like watching paint dry.
People like watching that shit, man.
They apparently they do paint dry. Yeah.
Comment below if you want Tank to start a TikTok account where he does karate and does fishing rods and paints things. and
Fishing
watch
rod
karate.
karate. Wow, that would be interesting.
Fishing rod karate. Karate rods.
I remember years ago we were up in northern Wisconsin and we passed by this sign for a store and it said, let's see, cheese, karate supplies, and porn.
Wow.
And I turned to my wife and I was like, that just sounds like a real hopped up date.
Well, there is a place up, a few hours from here that sells guns, cheese, and booze. Yeah.
That doesn't say Wisconsin. If they have live bait, that's the whole.
Well, they probably do. They just probably don't advertise it.
Well, that's
Because,
actually true.
I mean, it goes without saying. Obviously, you got live bait.
Wisconsin, we actually have live bait vending machines.
Yeah.
Oh.
Every gas station's got a cooler
That's
with live bait. It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
you
true.
just assume it.
Ah, fuck, man, it's been a hell of a riding season up here, hasn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
It's
Eh,
had a guy from another club everyone was close with. He got killed on a bike and
yeah.
zigged when he should have zagged and
Well, yeah, you did.
lost it. And we just had a former member who had passed from a motorcycle accident. His kid just got into a wreck and doesn't look great.
2 blocks up from where his dad was killed.
Yeah.
Literally going in the same direction.
Yep. Ate the side of a minivan.
Yeah. But turns out inertia and speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently that's a bad thing. So here's one for you there, campers. Don't go allegedly over 75 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone and freak out when somebody turns in front of you.
Well, it's 30. Here's
Is
the,
it 30? Oh, well, okay.
I know everybody likes to ride hard and fast, but you have to understand that you can't expect the average person to judge the fact that you're going 3 times the legal fucking speed limit
Yeah.
and know that they have enough time to turn out in front of you. You can't do that
No.
because they don't know. Because how the fuck could they?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in a 30-mile-an-hour zone and you want to go 80, you're a dumbass. Don't do that.
Yeah, you'll deglove half your face.
Yep.
And apparently it's real hard to talk when your nose is in your mouth.
Yeah. And you may or may not be blind.
Yeah, we still haven't found that one out yet.
So
Yeah, so like I said, it's been interesting. We saw somebody die.
oh yeah, that was earlier in
That
the year.
was-
Did we talk about that in here
We
before?
did. Yeah, I was here. I was here 1 week.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I got here Saturday, and the next Saturday we're watching her with like ooze coming out of her nose on the road.
Turned out to be brains. So that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Another guy, he broke his neck. He's still fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we had the other guy bite it, die. But let's be honest, he wasn't gonna collect a retirement.
No.
No.
Well, there's that guy that fucking got all fucked up at the bar we usually go to that everybody knew that turned out in front of a car.
Two blocks from your house.
Yep.
Yeah. 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 That was probably 60 minutes after I went through that intersection.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, I see all this fucking talk about people texting and all this bullshit. And I get it. It is a problem.
Yeah.
However, you're not doing yourself any fucking favors if you're riding like an asshole or being fucked up and trying to ride a motorcycle and making dumb decisions. I mean, use your fucking head.
Yeah. Weaving in and out of traffic.
Going fucking. Whenever I see guys that are ripping, say 20 over in a city limit area,
Mhm.
it's like you are playing with fire.
Yeah.
Like people don't know you're going that fast.
Yeah.
They can't see you from where they're at. There's a reason why the speed limit is what it is.
Yeah. They calculate that shit out, oddly enough.
They do.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they'll even look to see if they need to change it because you'll see those little rubber tubes across the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, to see if they've got to put a light there or slow something down or
Well, and it's like if you're going 20 over the speed limit, okay, and you're coming around like say a curve or a blind corner, you might not have enough time to slow down if somebody's already pulled out in front because they didn't even know you were there. Like the clubhouse is on a corner.
yeah.
Where people take a right-hand turn. So if we're leaving the clubhouse, somebody's taking a right-hand turn 50 yards from where the fuck we're in the middle of the goddamn road.
Yeah.
So if they swing around that corner doing, say, 15, 20, they're going to run right on top of us as we're sitting in the middle of the road leaving.
Very true.
I mean, there's a reason for the shit. Like, I like to ride hard too, but
Yeah, but we're different about it though.
Well, you don't
we
do
do
it
it
in
when we
an
can get
area.
away with it.
exactly. You
Yeah.
do it open highways or
Long straightaways.
long straightaways or whatever, interstate, places where it's you don't expect cross traffic or you don't expect like some asshole kid to fucking ride his skateboard out in front of you, you know?
Well, I mean, a couple months back, you, me, and the VP were heading to that meeting.
Mhm.
And we're going around, we were cruising along, and yeah, the traffic was going a little slow. And we went around that one car and came up behind some asshole from Illinois who freaked out and brake checked us in the middle of the road, why they would do that. And like, why didn't we buy it? Because we weren't tailgating.
No. Well, I mean, shit, they went from 55 to 30 like that
Mhm.
because they freaked out because they saw headlights come around the fucking up their ass because they were doing like 55 and we were doing like 65.
Yeah, I notice a lot of people, they get really nervous when a motorcycle gets behind them.
Yeah.
And like, and I'll give them, fuck, even if I'm by myself and I'm giving them 2, 3, sometimes even 4 car lengths, and they're still freaking out.
Yeah.
Like, how far away do I have to be for you to feel safe?
Yeah.
Off the road? I don't know. Again, people, when you look at this lifestyle, people that do it right make it look easy, but it's hard. It takes work and it takes brains.
Well, it takes common sense.
Yes.
And don't buy all the bullshit you see online and on TV. You are very vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I know that we don't like to wear helmets, even though that's kind of an old guy thing.
Yeah, I know a lot of the younger guys.
They all wear helmets now.
Yeah,
I mean, even I have a helmet,
I do. I've got several.
but like, you know, your Pan Felipe guys or whatever,
Oh, Tony Pans. Yeah.
like they're hardcore anti-helmet,
This old,
which I get.
this
but
old lady's doing the cannonball right now.
really,
The motorcycle cannonball. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
it is. But they kind of make sense. You know, I mean, you look back in the 70s, cars weren't going as fast.
Yeah.
And people paid more attention because their car didn't stop for them. Their car didn't let them know that there was somebody in their blind spot. You know, I mean, the speed limit wasn't as high as it is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah, different braking power. We had rack and pinion steering, none of this power assisted bullshit.
well, shit, rack and pinion, fuck, back in the day used to be all linkage.
Yeah.
You know, and but
Well, you knew you were turning, that's for damn sure.
well, who hasn't seen a fucking old episode of fucking some 70s cop show where they're driving down the street doing this shit?
Yeah, that's
You
true.
Because that's how cars handled back in the 70s. I mean, I wasn't around, but I drove cars from around then. Yeah, sure, shit. The steering wheel was a suggestion.
Yeah, I remember my first time driving a car with power steering and like, whoa, oh, god damn, that's sensitive. Same with the brakes. Like, whoa, damn, those really work.
Yep.
But the lifestyle. Let's talk about the lifestyle. It's not an easy lifestyle. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Ain't for sissies.
No,
Yet it's not going to suffer a fool very long.
you're going to find out who the fuck you are when you ride all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the content I watch online is like a lot of independence. And I like to see the independence and how they think and what they're doing because it's an honest assessment.
Very true.
You know what I mean? This is what I think. This is why I think it. As opposed to a guy that's in a club or talking about protocol or some shit, their club yeah, it's like whatever, man. Like I get it because I already know it and whatever. You're preaching to the choir, man. I got it.
Yeah.
But I like to listen to like guys that may not even be in Harleys and see how they react, or chopper builders. Guys that just like to build bikes and ride them.
Yep.
I like listen because that's like the purest way of motorcycling.
I agree.
Clubs are clubs are like going down the rabbit hole, man. Like you don't have to join a club to ride a bike.
No, you don't.
And I didn't start riding a bike to join a club. But it's kind of cool to see what those guys are doing and what they're thinking, and because it all evolves, It's an evolution.
Yeah.
I mean, you look back 50, 60 years ago, guys were wearing sweaters and fucking aviation goggles and
Leather helmets.
yeah, you know, to where we are now, where guys got ABS and traction control. And,
Speak for yourself.
well, yeah, no shit. But other guys do.
Other guys do, yeah.
Guys that can afford that shit.
Instead of you and me going down the road in our 92s and 94s. Yeah. Making all the noise in the God's world.
That's right. Now I'll say this. The fucking Evo I was riding, fucking Sturgis, rode better than both the goddamn twin cams because their fucking fuel injection couldn't figure out the goddamn altitude half the fucking time.
Yeah, it's
And my
amazing what
fucking Mikuni carburetor seemed to figure the fuck out right the goddamn way.
yeah. That's very true.
Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah. A lot to be said for a carb.
Use a lot more gas though.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, they're a lot easier to troubleshoot than a fucking
Oh yeah.
an EFI.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. You know, you put computers in, it messes it up for everybody. We had a club brother adjusting his carb the other day, and we were going to go to, you know, that that thing that we did. And I listened to it. Oh, it's revving real high. It's revving real high. It won't drop down. I said, you've got a vacuum leak. And he went, well, where could it be? And I said, one of 4 places. And I said, unless you have a friggin' vacuum petcock, then 5, you know? I mean, it's pretty, you know, it's not rocket science, man.
No.
It turns out it was
A
a vacuum leak. Yeah. So, yeah, but when the club president says, go to an auto store.
Yeah, and you go to a hardware store.
And you go to a hardware store and he says, get this hose. And he comes back with, like fishing, you know, for an aquarium hose.
Yeah, an aquarium hose.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that's going to last long.
And you're like, well, you're special needs.
Yeah. But it solved his problem for the day. Till it melts.
Which it will.
Oh, yeah.
There's a difference between tubing when it's, you know, home repair and automotive.
How many times you had your bike up on the lift this riding season? Probably can't even think of how many times because it's up on the lift when you have a problem or when something doesn't seem right and you want to look at it. You want to fix something.
What do you mean? Like since I put it together?
Well, pretty much. I mean, yeah, you put it together and then we had this riding season.
Once when I had to replace my tires.
Yours is a little easier to work on than mine. You can do a lot of your shit just right. It's all open to you. Yeah, mine, I got to take a little more stuff off it. But either way, the point I'm trying to make is like, is if you work on your own shit.
Yeah.
And if you're installing your own shit and if you're fixing your own shit, when something goes wrong, it's a lot easier.
Well, yeah. And that's back in the day, guys worked on their own bikes. Because you had to. Because if you were on the open road, you had to know how that thing fucking worked to get back on the road. Because you couldn't just fucking take out your cell phone. It didn't fucking exist.
Yeah, watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, and call AAA, which didn't fucking exist.
Yeah.
And fucking have somebody come and save your ass. You had to save your ass.
Yeah.
Or you had to rely on your club brother if you were in a club. Yeah. And if you were lucky enough to be in a club that had a clubhouse in a state that you happened to be in, then you at least had a place to stay and a place to work on your shit. That's what all these clubhouses and all these networks were invented for, is for guys to roam the country and have a place to go. We forget about it. It's not about territory. It's about having friends in low places.
Freeing the road, mobility.
Yep. A network of support when shit goes wrong, because shit will go wrong.
Yeah. And people to bounce ideas off of and find stuff out. Let's do a little spitballing.
There was no YouTube fucking tutorials back in the day. You couldn't go online and figure out how to fix your panhead. You had to know a guy that knew how to fix it.
And not everything is contained in your manual either. Because they're going to tell you to do it one way and you're going to find out, hey, I could do it this way and it's a little easier.
Or fucking past club brother Pops, he gave me a shovelhead manual that he had since forever. And it was that thick,
Wow.
maybe an inch. And that was the manual for a shovelhead motorcycle. The manual I have for my 09 Road King looks like the Chicago phone book. It's like that thick.
Yeah, the Evo's about that thick.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
riding around on these fucking spaceships.
well, and they didn't even change the shovelhead motor. I mean, really, until 1980 when they came out with the 80 cubic inch. So
Right.
it was a 75 cubic inch motor for
Yeah.
Over a decade.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at the evolution. I mean, evolution. It's like they seem to like doing shit on half years for whatever with that goddamn motor.
Well, the Evo is probably the best engine Harley ever really made. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Milwaukee 8's putting out some serious fucking horsepower numbers. And but as far as longevity, as far as reliability, it's still too soon to tell. And the twin cam, they seem to get it right before they discontinued it. It's like, okay, the 103 is okay-ish. The 110, yeah, it's a good fucking motor. Yeah, cool, Milwaukee 8. Like, wait, what? No, you just fixed all the problems.
Yeah, because those two overlapped for a little bit. Actually, I think you can still get a twin cam motor, a new twin cam motor, can't you?
What do you mean by it?
Well, they could, well,
not a bike.
No, but they've got them crated still. You can still buy them. Like Harley still has them available for sale.
I don't know. I know they were still selling the 121 twin cam.
Yeah, I
think it's the 121. You can get a crate engine, but I mean,
yeah.
Like, as far as the production bike, no, that stopped in 2017, 18, 17, 2017.
But I mean, the Evo was Willie G's. That was Willie G's deal. They AMF people had been playing with that idea for a while. They had it on the drawing board, and when they bought it back from AMF and Willie G and the boys got a hold of it, they said, "Hey, we're gonna build on this." And so you get the guy who had the best of both worlds when that first came out. And those bottom breathers, man, yeah, they had some problem. Yeah, they're gonna probably sump some oil all over the goddamn place if you let it sit for a while and start it back up again. But I mean, talk about if you want to build a motor and you want to keep it somewhat affordable, buy an Evo.
Well, Evo is just a bulletproof platform. There's no other way to look at it.
Well, it didn't run on a lot of oil pressure. It didn't have to, because it was more about oil circulation with those.
Right. And it was one camshaft as opposed to a twin cam, which doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why you need two cams if you're still running a push rod? Just have one cam.
Yeah.
And then look at the Milwaukee 8. It's one cam.
Yeah, they went back to the single cam on that.
I mean, the oil pump was external, and I mean, it's damn near a perfect design for a Harley engine. Now, granted, if you look at the Indian, I mean, the Indian's a better designed engine as far as like horsepower and reliability goes. I mean, liquid cooled, overhead cam, and that's the best of the 21st century. And I know that Harley is kind of pigeonholed to tradition and looking old and sounding old and yada, yada, yada. I get all that. I'm on board. But if we're talking about what type of motor can you trust, it's hard to say you can trust a twin cam all the time, every time.
Yeah.
Because shit can go wrong.
Yeah, when it does, it's a little more entailed to get to it and to work on it.
And the Milwaukee 8, I know they have problems with the rocker arms. I know they have problems with this and that and things loosening up.
Well, and then even with the water liquid cooled, they still run hot as fuck.
Well, they're only top end cooled.
Oh, okay.
Only the heads.
Okay.
But they still run hot as fuck.
Yeah. Burn your leg, man. So they put that heat protector there.
And I get it. And look, Harley really isn't to blame so much as the consumer is. Because Harley actually made an engine that was liquid cooled and overhead cammed back in the day called the V-Rod.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Now, I seem to think that's because they made it in one bike and it was ugly as fuck.
It really was. I have a hard time looking at those. That frame is just weird.
They would have put that V-Rod in a traditional like soft tail, or that V-Rod engine in a soft tail, or a street glide or road glide. I think it would have been more acceptable. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you would have made it kind of look traditional Harley with an upgraded motor, I think guys would have fucking been like, all right, I get it. That's kind of cool.
Well, no push rods.
But you make this fancy ass fucking space age at the time, mind you.
Yeah.
Fucking bike. All right, well, it's one style. Not everybody's going to get it. You're trying to get younger guys that really don't give a fuck about bikes because, well, why the fuck do you give a fuck about your granddad's bike or your dad's bike? No, you want a Japanese bike that costs half as much, that goes twice as fast, because everybody in the early 2000s, as far as Japanese goes, like your V-Stars, your Shadows, your fucking, your Cowies, they're all building these fucking faux Harley looking things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, V-Star Classic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that looked like an old knucklehead.
The fucking, the Honda Fury.
Honda Fury.
The Honda Fury looked like a chopper.
It was actually the only production chopper made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Honda Rogue. Or Rogue, whatever the fuck it's called.
Rune. Yeah, no, they were butt ugly, but my God, that motor.
Yeah. I mean, even Triumph got into it with the fucking the rocket.
Yeah.
You know, a cruiser with 160, 170 horsepower out of the box.
100, yeah, like 106. Yeah, you're right. Now you've got Buell coming out with that Super Street, which is order only. But I mean, that thing's going to be, that's almost a freaking square motor. I mean, my God, think about that. 175 horsepower.
As you buy it.
And I don't know whether the torque is pretty close. God. Yeah, Eric Buell, there's another one, right? I mean,
yep.
And you think that Harley would catch on, right? And go, we need we could make the best of both worlds. That Pan American motor.
Yeah. Well, they can't even keep those on a shelf.
Yeah.
Those things are flying out of dealerships.
I see a lot of those dual sport bikes out on the road. A lot of dual sport bikes on the road.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're kind of fun.
I see a lot of guys with Tigers.
Yeah. Or your BMWs or your Ducati Multistradas. You know.
Ducati's got that. I mean, BMW's got that new cruiser.
Yeah.
That looks pretty sharp too. People say, oh, it's only like 850 cc's. What the fucking cc's don't matter. Really.
You can spend 12 grand.
Yeah. How? Yeah, and it's not the cc's. It's about the horsepower and the torque that those cc's make.
What's your compression? What's your cooling capabilities? Because horsepower makes heat. And,
yeah.
You know.
But with Harley, like you said, it's always about the Harley mystique, the Harley sound.
Yeah.
And those two are the ones that come into the forefront, excuse me.
And here's the thing. At some point, they're going to have to switch that over, because the guys that want that sound, that want that mystique, are dying off. And if you don't think they are, look around.
Oh, no. We see it in the community.
Look around.
Yeah. People are, the old school guys are dying off.
Bike nights ain't what they used to be.
No, bike nights used to be a lot of fun. But
well, look at the guys that are, like, let's say, under 50 and over 30. And they're riding like, say, a Milwaukee 8 or a twin cam. It's probably going to be a bagger. It's probably going to be a street glide or a road glide.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to have a giant front wheel or suspension that they'll never fucking use the full fucking performance of because of whatever.
Yep.
I know performance bagger racing's kind of big right now, but we'll see how long it lasts. I mean, it's cool because Indian and Harley are kind of going back and forth, but we'll see. Because the guys that are doing that in their 50s,
yeah,
real younger guys really don't give a fuck.
Well, not even, and even at the bike nights, look at that one guy. I mean, he's got that one, the built bike, the one that you heard, and you were like, "What the fucking is that? A street rod? Is that like in like?"
I thought it was like a pro stock car. No, it's just a soft tail that he did some crazy shit to.
Yeah, he did some crazy. It was like a one-off parts. He's a Gatorade bottle. He's a fucking breather collector.
Well, also it wasn't even Harley. It was all like Ultima Bottom End, SNS jugs, SNS one-off fucking $12,000 heads. Fucking
yeah, those SNS Super D carburetors.
Yeah, with fucking Holly float bowls, fucking modified so we could have enough fuel.
Yeah. They were originally made. They were like machined for him for those. And now there's like people making them.
And he could do 70 miles on an oil change because after that it started puking out all the oil because of all the back pressure because it ran 14 to like 5 or some shit fucking compression. Had to only run race gas and it lasted for a few months.
Yeah, we didn't see him again, did we?
Yeah, it ate itself.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm surprised he didn't kill himself on that bike. I've never seen this. The baldest front tire I've ever seen on a bike that would put out that kind of power.
Yep.
But he's cool as fuck.
No, he's a good guy. He's good shit. He's just it is what it is, man.
And he's got a shop in Orford. I want to visit that shop.
Yeah, we'll
head back down south. I really do.
We'll check.
Because he seems to be doing it right. I mean, we've got like here in our little area, we've got a lot of famous shit. Like a lot of biker trend stuff, like stories that seem to go nationwide.
Yeah.
We got the world famous Bargain Barn, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we've been there before. And it's a great concept. It is, because like there's like every part you could possibly think of for a Harley is in the basement.
We're not that far away from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So, and some of the oldest dealerships are within a stone's throw of us, so to speak. So, I mean,
yeah, the oldest one is right over the state line.
Yeah.
Kegels.
So,
shout out to Chelsea.
Episode
38, maybe. I don't know.
Who knows? But yeah, I mean,
but we were down there and we were looking at like the cylinder heads and shit. And like, this is the place not to go for a cylinder head.
No, because they're takeoff junk that nobody ever wanted.
Well, it's exactly it. And then they're sitting down in this dank, damp basement.
Valves are rusted up.
Yeah, but if you need to find bags, he's probably the guy to go to.
Yeah, if you need a part because you can't find it online, even though I don't see how you couldn't.
Be prepared. Yeah, well, no shit, but be prepared to be there for a while.
And organization.
And you better fucking know your shit when you walk in the door. You better know exactly what you need and what you're looking for. And
if you're expecting a deal, you're not going to get it.
No.
You're paying top dollar.
No. But this guy in Orfordville, though, he looks really organized. Like he knows, like he's stocked and inventoried and organized, and like you tell him what you got, and he knows right where it's at.
Well, he's also a Harley rider.
Yeah,
it's a side venture for him.
Yeah, it's probably how he maintains his addiction.
Yeah,
it's an addiction. It is an addiction.
Yep.
Like any other. I'll do the same. I mean, I want to build my motor up a little over the winter. So
yeah,
I'll put it in the garage. I'll probably, as I buy shit, I'll send parts up to you and we'll throw them in there. And
you figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. Because obviously I've got some ring issues on the one piston.
Yeah,
definitely. But when that bike was put back together again, there wasn't a lot of attention to detail for those type of things. But it was more, let's get it running versus let's get it running really, really well.
Well, when did you get that running? 8 years ago?
Yeah. I mean, it was in boxes. Half the motor was.
you put it together with hopes and dreams, and as long as it lasts, we almost got a decade out of it. So what are you bitching about?
I'm not bitching at all, actually. I can Andrew's 27 cam in there. I can't think of a more reliable cam. I don't know. I mean, I'm not bitching about that bike at all. In fact, actually, I wasn't really sold on that paint job at first, but I kind of like it now because I don't see anybody else out there with it.
Kind of like purple frames.
Kind of like purple frames. But the thing about mine is that Harley that was actually a mid-year release with those bikes.
Really?
Yes, I ran the VIN. So it's got that special designation VIN number, mid-year release, and they did a little bit of a run with those custom tanks, and they put the Fat Bob tanks on it instead of the regular Softail tanks. And so, like, if you're a small man, if you've got narrow hips, you're gonna hate my bike because it's a wide sucker. It is.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a pig. It's a Harley. Oil comes out of it, makes a lot of noise, vibrates all over like a motherfucker. But she's still running, isn't she?
It's at the end of the day, what more can you ask for?
My other bike's pretty reliable too. I've gotten a lot of years out of that Victory.
Well, yeah,
Turns out
decent bike, man.
Yeah, well, it turns out that Freedom 100 was a pretty decent motor.
I thought about it. What is the worst motorcycle ever made?
What's the criteria?
Unreliable and slow. Royal Enfield had a problem for a while there after they started up in India, but apparently they got some bugs worked out.
Ural.
Yeah.
You can't, if you get that thing, if you're going 70 miles an hour, you've done something to that motor.
Yep.
Yeah, the Urals, like the Yugo of motorcycles. Yeah, Royal Enfield, they got electrical problems up the wazoo.
What was the name of that fucking oh yeah, don't even get me started on electrical shit and Triumphs. Fuck, I don't know what it is with the Brits. They cannot figure out electricity.
Yeah, right. It's all weird. That's very true. Look at like the British Sterling, like the car, the Sterling. Like,
that's why they like their fucking beer warm, because they make refrigerators too. But yeah, fucking what was that name of that company we were talking about that had an automatic transmission that got sued by Harley?
Yes, yeah. Ridley's.
Yeah, Ridley's.
That's actually an interesting story.
Yeah.
Clay and Jay Ridley. Jay and Clay. Jay was the father, Clay was the son. And they were they made a mid-size motorcycle.
Yeah.
So they called it a miniature because it was about 3/4 of a regular cruiser. First one was a 650. And they called it was a let's see now. Continuous variable transmission, a CVT. And so not like a slipper clutch, but similar in function to like a chainsaw.
Oh, okay.
And how they work, the more power that goes through. Centrifugal, yeah. But they came up with that design. They were going along pretty good. They were small, they were in their niche. People were buying them because they didn't want to have to go through. Apparently shifting gears and clutches are hard for some people,
I guess.
And they were going along real cool. They started in 95. First production bike came out in 99. And then they made the mistake. They named their motorcycle an Autoglide. And Harley went, "Oh, what did you call that?"
Oh, no.
And they got sued. And it sat in court for 3 years, and a judge wouldn't rule on it. And they finally ruled out of court, paid Harley like a couple $1 million, and then the next day after that happened, they went bankrupt. And then they were bought. They were bought by wait for it. Two Wheel Ventures was the name of the company. You can find them. You can find the parts still. It's Route 66 Ridley is the parts. And they went in and they bought all of their parts. And so they got all this new old parts sitting there. So it's actually unlike Victory, which, I don't want to talk to me about getting Victory parts. But yeah, unlike Victor, you can still buy them and they're still out there, but they only ever made like just less than 5,000 motorcycles.
Wow.
But I showed you a picture of one. They're not bad looking bikes.
No, they're not a bad looking bike.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an automatic.
You know what it is? I know. I can now think. I think of two bikes. The Suzuki Katana.
Mm-hmm.
It was a sport bike that didn't sport. It was uglier than fuck. I mean, it really wasn't good at anything. The fucking Katana, otherwise known as the can of tuna.
The can of tuna. That's right.
The Suzuki can of tuna.
Yeah.
They were, and there was like every asshole's first bike.
Well, it wasn't mine, but yeah.
Well, not mine either, but I mean, like
But
back in
yeah,
the day.
back in the day. Yeah,
Back
yeah.
in the day, late 90s, early 2000s.
They were, yeah, before everybody went,
Oh,
before everybody got
yeah,
Ninja 250s.
What was that fucking bike Honda made?
The Honda Matic.
Oh, yeah, the Honda Matic. Yep. Made famous by Purple Rain.
We just watched that.
We did.
We did.
We did. It was a hell of a movie.
It was.
Prince
Yeah.
killed it. Prince killed it, you know? He had that Vetter fairing. He was just smacking bitches and singing and crying. It was a fantastic movie from the 80s.
Actually, it's an unheralded biker. It is a biker movie.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of.
Sure. It's, well, yeah. Yeah.
We watched that, and then we watched
Wild, well, no.
No, Wild Hog. We watched that. We'd all caught it up.
Beyond the Law.
Beyond the Law.
Beyond the Law.
And that showcased Harley's Evos.
Yes.
That was yeah, no shit.
And Stone Cold.
Right.
Another great biker movie.
But Wild Hogs, actually, it was what, 2009, I think, when that came out.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, and that showcased Harley's 2009 line. Every single one of them. It was interesting because they had the one guy in a Sportster 1200.
Yeah.
Which was the custom.
Yeah.
Which was probably the nicest one they made. Then
Eddie kept crashing all the time.
let's see, and then Martin Lawrence's character who was on that Springer Softail.
Yep.
Which was a production year bike, Springer Softail. But then the year later, Harley said, okay, well, we're going to offer a Springer front end, but it's going to be on the Softail standard frame. So they changed it.
Yeah.
And then, who was it? John Travolta was on the Screaming Eagle package.
Mm.
And then Tim Allen was on what they called a blackout.
Oh.
Because it had all the custom parts that you could put on. So Harley was kind of showcasing all their stuff with that one. Yeah, he had that special, he had the Fat Boy tire on the front, or Fat Boy wheel on the front, you know,
the solid
the solid wheel, yeah.
Because crosswind isn't a thing.
Yeah, have you ever ridden one?
No,
I haven't either. It always seemed bizarre to me, you know.
I hear it sucks.
Yeah, it would have to.
How much does that weigh?
It would have to. It would have to.
Gotta
Yeah,
be heavier than shit.
it must. And I don't know where you people live, but here where we live, especially when we get down into Illinois, when they say wind whipping across the plains, they ain't fucking lying, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Actually, that puts a lot of people off sometimes to riding, because they'll put a fairing or a windscreen on their bike, and then those big winds hit, and then you're you know, going down the road sideways, you know, leaning into it, and that just seems normal.
And I also feel like we haven't said this in a while, but it needs to be said once again, since we're talking about motorcycles. If you ride a Goldwing, you're a fucking nerd. You fucking nerds.
Yeah, and don't bring up the newer Goldwings, please.
Don't want to hear it.
Don't want to hear it. Goldwing's got a bagger. Yeah, we know. We've seen it.
Shut
it's still
up.
a fucking Goldwing.
It's a Goldwing. Like, it's a bike made for retired doctors. Don't try to gussy it up. I don't care what stereo system you put in it. It's still a fucking Goldwing.
But if you want you and your old lady to have matching gear and matching headsets, and match the bike,
Buick of motorcycles.
that's your motorcycle right there.
Yeah, just don't. Just don't.
Yeah, that's a whole different class of motorcycle.
And if you're listening to this and you're like, I got an 85 Goldwing, it's got 400,000 miles on it, and I'll ride it across the country. Yeah. and you look like a dork doing it.
And who works on that nowadays? A 1200cc Aspencade from 1980.
No, nobody ever asked her because it never breaks down.
If you're going to find somebody, that's all he's going to do is be working on that brand of motorcycle.
Yep.
Yeah, Goldwing specialist, because that's what you have to be.
Man. Fucking hey, I don't get it.
It takes you 3 hours just to get to the motor to fucking work on it.
Yeah.
You got to pull all that plastic off.
Oh, I've got an 84. It's got air suspension and an onboard compressor and yada, yada, yada. Does any of it work? Well, no, but well, then shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. And try to find some of those rubber gaskets and O-rings and all that shit that goes to it. Because apparently those wear out.
Fucking nerds. Fucking nerds, man.
Yeah. And we didn't touch on it, but if you find yourself riding a motorcycle that's automatic, what the hell are you thinking?
Just stop.
I mean,
just stop. Get a scooter, get a little fucking Honda fucking Spree or whatever, and let the wind hit your vagina, and
or at least be a man and buy a Boss Hog or Boss Haas. What was Hog Haas Boss? The V8 V10 was it Boss Haas? I don't know.
V8. Small block, big blocks, LS, whatever.
But you don't shift gears.
Like I said before, man, there's a fucking whole trend of everybody getting trikes now.
Well, because it's aging out. But the trike conversions, the shop up the street, that's their bread and butter, man.
Trike conversions, these fucking now Harley's making a CVO trike.
Yes.
Fucking what the fuck?
Yeah. What's the other one there? When they've got that package, you can if it turns your bike into a 4-wheeler, you got 3 in back because you can. Yeah, you ride it up in and then it attaches. Don't do that.
Don't get training wheels for your motorcycle.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Get a sidecar. Get a sidecar. Then you don't look like that much of a nerd. It might look like you were going to take a dog for a ride with fun goggles or something.
And Harley actually. They had a production bike in 92, your Evo. I think it was 90 to 92 or maybe 93. You could buy a Softail with a sidecar. That was like one of their featured motorcycles. So
yeah,
that's kind of cool. I can see a sidecar actually.
Sidecars are cool. Somebody's got to carry the beer.
I can see us in 1520. We can go into the sidecar races.
Yeah.
Like you'll ride it. I'll be the ballast in the back because I'd be really good ballast. We'd have to really pump up that motor, but
yeah,
we're gonna stay on the fucking ground, man. I'll be on the one side and then lean over the other. We ain't going nowhere, brother. We're gonna turn like a motherfucker.
Stick to the ground like a round rail.
That looks like a lot of fun, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. Same with the flat track racing. I mean, that's all a young man's game. Although you're 81 years old and you're on a shovel head out there, fucking.
It was an Ironhead, wasn't it?
It was an Ironhead. You're right. God love that guy, man.
Hey, getting after it.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That was motorcycling was alive and well with that group. There was that 5-year-old kid.
Yeah. Well, it's still going. It's just
few
and far between.
Yeah, it seems to be. You really got to seek it out. I mean, one of the oldest American hill climbing groups is still here. It's in Illinois. It's right near us.
Yeah.
Rockford Hill Climbers. That's kind of cool. I've never wanted to do it, but we were talking about that earlier this week. It's good. If you want to go see somebody eat shit, go there.
I will watch people fall down a hill all day long. All day long. Shit's fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah, and if you buy a snowmobile, look, we'll get back to our annual party. We had a fuck on a Spider, and he wanted to do the slow race.
Like, no, you're going to cheat, dude. You have 3 wheels. Obviously, you can just stop and not put your feet down.
Yeah, he wears his little vest.
But then he asked me, well, what if I took a wheel off? Then yes. If you want to take one of your front wheels off, because you don't want to take the back one off, because then you're not going to go anywhere. But yeah, if you want to take a front wheel off, you go right the fuck ahead.
And it sounds like we're shitting all over some of this stuff because we are. But
you deserve it.
Not for nothing. We ride real motorcycles that make noise and vibrate, and you shift and you got to lean them, and
somebody's got to carry the torch.
Yeah, because a lot of those torch they're dying off, man. They're dying off.
Well, I gotta take a piss. We gotta wrap this up.
We should. Tank 2024. Remember that? There's a write-in on your ballot, but tank 2024.
If you ride like an asshole, you're gonna fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
And Goldwings are for nerds.
Yeah, no shit. And if you're gonna fucking be in a club and rest on your laurels because of what you did for the club fucking 8 years ago, and you don't do shit now, fuck you. Did I say that part out loud?
Yep.
I did, didn't I? And yes, I am throwing shade.
Thanks for watching or listening. However, whatever 6 of you are listening. To this
yeah, no
right
shit.
now.
However you come to us. And keep in mind, as proven this past weekend, the most dangerous part in your motorcycle is the nut that connects the seat to the fucking handlebars. Peace.
Why is there a glove of blood on the bar?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Leave it in.
We have no shit.